Chairpersons, let's repeat the Lion's Prayer. Where lions meet, be present, Lord, to will our hearts in one accord. To do thy will, Lord, make us strong, to aid the weak and right the wrong.
Leos, my fellow lions, once again, good evening. We're here for a very, very important session this evening, and we are being very, very ably led by Lionel Video Wellington Ford. She hails from Jamaica, and she, I know, will take you through this session. So what I'm going to ask is that we allow her to complete her presentation, and thereafter, you please note your questions as she goes. And thereafter, then we'll open the floor for questions. Once you've raised your hand, I will recognize you and we will proceed. So we just now would like to, without further ado, welcome Lionel Video and ask her to commence her presentation.
Thank you very much, Lion Denise. Good evening, Lions, Leos, on the call. I know this is a session that was planned for all groups, so I do bid you welcome. Thank you very much for attending, and thanks for having me as your presenter. Now, because we have lost some time, as much as possible, we're going to try and make it up. I don't know if your mother, it was like my mother who said that we can't make up time when we lost it, but let's see how best we can do this evening, right? So we're talking about the service chairperson role and what is it that this is all about. And I just borrowed a snippet here right from the ebook for the service chairperson, and it says prepare to lead, prepare to succeed. So my first slide, I just want to give us a quick introduction, a quick presentation using a video that we have from the Lions Club International, and it's on the service journey. So I just wanted to give us a quick view. You should be able to hear and also see. If you're not hearing, please let me know. So I'll start the video. Okay, a quick little pictorial moving video just to show us about service and the impact that we can make. Now, you might be new to the service chairperson role. You might be doing this as a refresher. You might be new to Lionism and you are moving through the training as you are positioning yourself into your club as you continue to serve and you want to go into a leadership role. This is the session for you. So why are we talking about the importance of this role? And why are we having this session? Now, when you check the ebook, and this is the guidance or the manual that goes along with the service chairperson role, when you check the ebook and you read it, it does tell you how impactful on and how important this position is for the club. Now, when you are looking at the chairperson role, the reality is that most of... Sorry, you're not hearing me?
Please go ahead, Lionel.
Yeah. Thank you.
We just ask you to mute, please. Okay, thank you. Okay.
Oh, okay. So the reality is that when you look at a club, a service club, such as the Lions Club International and our various clubs, the bulk of what we do is really consist of service. And we look at the global causes, we look at the different campaign areas. It really is about service. Yes, the administrative aspect of the club is very important. Governance and administrative aspect of any activity that you're doing is very important, But when you look at the weight and the impact of why is it that we do what we are doing, as our motto say, we serve. It's about service, right? So the service chairperson role is to turn a community need in action. One that is very close to our heart, we would have gone through a lot of the Caribbean would have gone through hurricane season impacted over the last 2 years. And here in Jamaica, our hurricane season starts today, in fact. Now, you can just imagine we might not, all of us, Hurricane Melissa is so fresh in our memory, and now we're back in another season. So what are some of the needs? So those are readily apparent, those needs that might come out of an environmental issue like that. But there are other needs that might come up. For example, schools in a lot of our countries right now are closing, and then you have a new school year starting. Traditionally, there are back to school activities because we do know that there are needs there. Now, when you are looking at your service projects too, you're not only meeting the needs of the community external, but you're meeting the needs of the community internal. What do I mean by that? Meet the members of your club. Those are also your internal community. They are your internal partners. So you want to also have increase in membership engagement. And this is one of the rules that make sure that you have good membership engagement here. And it also strengthens the impact of the club. It supports club growth through service. And you also, all of us know that there is the campaign 1.5 that's going on. So of course, this support the club growth, whether it's a new club happening or new members joining. Now, all the resources that I use will be put on the slide so that you will be able to access them. Now, these are some of the responsibilities of the service chairperson. And I want to say right away that with this role, collaboration is key. It's key to a successful tenure, it's key to successful service projects. The ebook will say to you that you plan service activities, you lead the service committee, you assess community needs, you engage members, and you volunteer and you report service activity. Now, remember though that during Lionism, it's also your club, your way. So there are communities and committees that will be in your various clubs. So you find that, don't be hesitant to say, whoa, this is a lot. You'll find that through collaboration with the various service committees, you will have a role, a tenure, a collaboration so that your projects can get off the ground, they can be impactful, and they can be successful, and everybody will have fun as they serve. So while you have an hand in having a communication with your board, you have a hand in communicating with the service committees. Not all the responsibility will be on your shoulder because it's a shared responsibility. However, you still have the responsibility to know what are the service projects that the club is undertaking, the needs that they're targeting, and also how are you going to engage with the members. So you will also work closely with the membership committee because you want to ensure new members coming into the club, they also feel engaged and feel part of it. What about those members that we have not been seeing for a little while? You need to have a conversation with membership, reach out to them personally so that you can have them coming on board. There's a lot of things going on. So if we touch base with our members, we can get our members out. And of course, there's also a category of person that's called Friends of Lions or Friends of the Club, the volunteers. You can invite your families and your friends, those persons who are like-minded, persons who may not necessarily want to be in the club at this point, but they have a certain skill set that you can use. Then you want to also report your service activities. This is very good, very important, must be done because the reality is that in the world that you will come across, there is this saying that if something is not written or recorded, it was not done. how do you inform your zone, inform your region, inform your district, and then by extension, all the way up, the impact that you are doing as a club? Reporting service activity is very important. Then you also work as a part of the Global Action Team. What is the Global Action Team? This tend to be the level of team coming from the district level that will work and collaborate with the various groupings. For example, this session that we have now is being hosted by the global leadership team. We come together under the banner of the leader, the district leader at the time, and we will come together and put together activities and projects. There might be other things that's happening. As a service chairperson, you don't stand on your own. Again, you collaborate, and you not only collaborate in your club, but you collaborate outside of your club. I'm currently the chairperson for my club, Lions Club of New Kingston. And one of the things that I will do, I will take up the phone, I will call another chairperson. I'll have a conversation, because sometimes what is happening in your club is also something that is linked to another club. Not only that, but what about having interclubbing? What about having shared projects? Because sometimes we might have a small amount of resource, but when we put together all our resources, especially if it is that all of us we were planning to do a particular activity. For example, again, let me use the back to school. Most schools will open back in September, some might be in August. I'm not certain what months in various countries, but I know commonly it will be September. And clubs tend to do back to school activities. Can we do one back to school activity in our region, then our zone? To make sure that the amount that we have, we put together our resources and then have a greater impact. So that is how you can collaborate. You must align service, membership, and leadership goals. Now, these will come down, they will cascade. They will cascade from what is set by LCIF, what is set by the district, and it will come all the way down to the clubs. Now, the various region, the various zones will have their discussions with the clubs too. And then all of it must roll up as the zone, the club report to the zone report to the region, on the district, and all the way up, so that you make sure that you are in alignment with the activities that must be done and what is set. Also important, as a service chair, when you look at the roadmap for the year for your club, say starting July 1 all the way to the end of June next year, are there any initiatives for LCIF? And if there is none there, then it means that there's a missing gap. There must be something on the agenda for the entire year that supports the LCIF. This is very important. We can look at what happened again, hurricane season, and we were able to pull down on the resources of Jamaica, and other countries would have benefited. So it's very important for us to be able to support this initiative, because it is also of benefit for us. Work with district leaders. I would have already mentioned that. The service chair have a link with membership. I won't go a lot in this, because I would have spoken about it already, in terms of making contact with the leader, with the membership chair, finding out what members you're not seeing. Are there any members that are having a challenge? New members coming on board, how do you ensure that they feel a part of the activity? When persons are joining the club, is there a question to ask them about what are their particular interests? Not because somebody might work in finance, that don't mean that their interest in the club must be in finance. They could have an interest serving in youth. So if you are able to, as the service chair, working with membership, ascertain the interests of your club members, then this will enrich the life of your club members. They will come out to clubs, they will have active participation, and this is what we want. Always invite non-lions to participate. Remember, we're building our club, we're building our membership. Not only that, but our club might not have all the skill sets that we need. So it would be important then, as the service chairperson, when you are working with the service committees, as they build up and build out the projects that they have, you can invite other non-lions that can come and participate. Showcase lions in action. Our bright yellow vests, very important, high catching. They are a conversation starter. Not only that, but we all know that social media have grown leaps and bounds right now. We have a platform that is far reaching. We are staying right here in our countries that are on this platform right now, and the work that we are doing is going far and wide. Use social media. Do not hesitate to market and promote your club. That's one of the ways that the service aspect of it is going to be a attraction. As you put your service projects out there, as you put the impact that you're doing as a club out there, you are serving as a beacon, as an attraction to persons who are like-minded, persons who are willing to volunteer, persons who are willing to contribute, donate. You never know. So please showcase it. And then you grow through service. You can start, you grow your club through service, yes, but also want to speak to the individual. You grow through the individual, yourself as an individual, and also your membership through service. In Jamaica, we have a saying that say you go in, you don't want to go in as a dumpling and come out as a Johnny cake. Meaning that you don't want to go, you don't want to start your land journey, you start your service journey, and you are at the same point which you start. So as a service chair, working with membership and working with other members of the club, you want to collaborate and you also want to grow through service individually, personally, and also as the club members are impacted, your club will grow. Now, you are looking to start your journey. Starting your journey, and technically your journey starts the 1st of July. However, here is a pro tip I will say to you. Start before the 1st of July, which is what you're doing right now. In this time here in June, as you get yourself prepared, your first step, get the training done. Do this training and also go online to the Lions Club International training portal and complete the training there also. We'll also say to you, start talking to the outgoing service chair. You would have seen some of the projects that work, some that did not work. So you need to start reviewing, get a good transition process, a transition period as you accept the button from this outgoing person, review projects and then you can make a decision. Assess the community need. There is a tool on the LCI portal also that will help you to assess the community needs. Meet with the club leaders. Most clubs will conduct what is called a retreat or a strategic planning process. Most clubs will have that session happening. So it gives you an opportunity to participate there. But a lot of times you need to get to that retreat or that planning process with some amount of preparation that is done, which is why I say to you, you want to start before the 1st of July. What are the goals? So the goals that you set will also have to be linked to the goal that the club president is setting. So you're in a supporting role with the club president. However, you're also going to give some amount of guidance as to what is it that the club, the direction that the club ought to take, because you have to keep your eye on the campaigns that are happening. Keep your eyes on the global, the causes. You have to keep your eyes on that. Not only that, there are that will happen. For example, this year the international president had a service week of activities. I hope you would have recalled those. The international president had service week of activities. So those had to then be added to the plans that the various clubs would have been conducting. Then traditionally too, the global team will have, for example, like a hunger project that needs to be completed. Zones and region, district, and so on tend to also have projects that they would add to their calendar. So bear that in mind. So you start your research, and the website for the Lions Club International has a wealth of information that is very important for you to tap into, right? So this is very important. And can't not say organize your record. It is very important for you to organize your records. Okay. Now we are going to look at understanding community needs. Identify current needs. One of the advice that is given, look at what your club has been doing. Not because you have always been doing it that way, doesn't mean that you have to continue it that way. Look at the impact that it had on the needs, the community that you are trying to serve. Because one of the things that you must report on when you are reporting for service, you have to look on the impact. Who was impacted, right? And you have to report on the impact. So you need to know what are the current needs. That's not to say that the regular or routine items that are on your club listing, you should not continue. But just to say that service should not be stagnant. So look to see what worked, what did not work, and what are the current needs. Again, you ought to use the needs assessment tool that is on the Lions Club International website to help you to assess the needs of your community that you're looking to serve. Listen to your stakeholders. There can also be some survey. For example, if it is that you work with schools, are you working with basic school, primary school, high schools? Ask them. You can do a quick survey. We can set up a quick survey in maybe Google or the different type of apps that's happening right now, and you can circulate that to these persons that would have been working with for this current year. Ask them, listen to them as you get a feedback from them, right? Or you can ask the committees that have been working with these persons to go ahead and have a conversation. You can give them some pointers or some of the things that they should ask and get this response. And that is what you would then put into a template to help you to plan and help you to give guidance to the president and give guidance to the service committees that are putting together these projects. And don't forget a particular stakeholder, which is your donors. Also listen to them. Very important. Focus on meaningful impact. This is where the saying quality is better than quantity comes into play. Meaning that it makes no, logically, it makes no sense to do a small project every month. So you have 12 project, 12 of that project for the year versus maybe a project, that same project that could be done 4 times for the year. It's about impact. When you look at doing that same project once every month, are you making an impact? What's the impact that you're making? Versus if you do the same project 4 times per year, is it a greater impact? In terms of resources, sometimes you also have to consider economy of scale. How do you put together your activity that is impactful? Now, let me hasten to say, I am not speaking to those projects that are established. You might have a monthly feeding project or a monthly elderly care project that is already established in a home or a community that has already been, it's already entrenched. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying that sometimes we have some one-off projects that if we collectively put them together, get a greater impact. So this is why the ebook say focus on meaningful impact, right? So again, in my words, I say you are looking at quality of service here and the impactful projects, not quantity at this point, right? So that's the guidance I will give you in terms of how I consider it. Creating a service calendar is something that can be very instrumental for you as a service chairperson. There is a calendar that is an annual calendar that goes out for the service chairpersons. Sorry, just asking to mute your mic, please. Thank you. There is a service calendar that goes out from the Lions Club International, and it will position for the entire year various activities that are going on. And this is an input to your planning activity. Now, it's your club, your way, right? Your club, your way. So you will know the various activities that your club will be involved in, your club will put together. It can be, I will say, can be a bit of a challenge to put together the service calendar because there can be a lot of moving parts that's happening. I will be honest right now. It was one of my aim this year, but I did not get it done. So I put it out there to say that it is something that is very important for you to have. It does aid you, but that's one of the things I say to person when I am doing these sessions. I use the human experience, right? Sometimes it happens and sometimes it doesn't happen. But don't beat yourself up about it. What you want to do though, if it is that you don't get to the creating the calendar, keep the information from the LCI service calendar together so that you're able to send it out. You can use bits and pieces. Sometimes you might do the annual calendar and persons forget it or they are not paying full attention to it. So one of the guide I will give to you is that you can also submit a quarterly view or a monthly view so you can present to persons the various things that are upcoming. This will keep them informed. Keep them informed about what is happening. And it also helps you to plan ahead as you coordinate with your various partners, your stakeholders. So the children home that you are working with, or the school that you're working with, or if you're working with the forestry department to do some you're dealing with reforestation and so on, that type of project, then it helps you to coordinate with them. And it also helps you to track the progress, because some of your goals and targets will be set at the start of the year. For example, how many are we planning to hit all of the projects, all of the campaign areas from Lions Club International? Are we planning to hit all of them in our projects? How are we planning to hit them? What are the numbers that we are planning to look at? So you want to track your progress. Are you what you plan to do, are you actually achieving it? And that is very important, because at the end of the day, you need to also submit that. And we have to also remember that this is going to be a part of our good governance structure, because your club president needs to go ahead and report to the zone chair, and the zone chair needs to report to region chair, and all the way up. That's how it is. So it's part of good governance structure for you to have the plan in place, track your progress, and keep everybody informed. You're going to be working with the president and or the vice president that is responsible for the service committees. If it is that they are on the service committee, they're responsible for a service committee like that. You see, I'm referring also to my ebook, because I want to make sure that I am on point in giving you the guidance to build your service expectation as you embrace your service chair role. Build a strong service team. Now, your team that you're going to be working with will be your committee chairs. You're going to be working with the president, you're going to be working with the vice president, and you're going to be working with your committee chairs. Now, just the same thing that we say to committee chairs, while you are the chairperson, it doesn't mean that you have to take on everything on your shoulder. You're going to burn out. You're not going to enjoy your service if you do that. You're not going to enjoy yourself. So what we say to you, that you must look to delegate responsibility. You work and you collaborate and you delegate. Recruit project leaders. Now these will be, to start, these will be your committee chairs. These will be the committee chairs, and then you will work along with the committee chairs, give them guidance, and in the committee, the committee chairs will then go ahead and pick project leaders, right? To say, okay, can you be responsible for this tree planting activity? Can you be responsible for this back to school project or this health fair that we want to plan? And when you do it that way, you are empowering people. You are empowering people that are in the committee, empowering the committee chairs, and you yourself are also building yourself through service. You don't want a service chair to be only working along with those lions or Leo lions that you're always seeing. You have to now look to see who else, because we're all leaders in our own right. If you look in our personal lives, more than likely, invariably, we are in some type of leadership role in our personal life. So why not have that carry over here in Lionism? You look to see these persons and you empower them. Please be responsible for this blue project. Please be responsible for that green project. Not saying that persons will be left on their own, especially if it is that they are new to the activity. You want to pair them with somebody else that they can work with. But when you do that, you find that you are empowering them. And not only that, it's important for you to build future leaders, because that committee chair will be looking to move on to something else, and you will need to have to be able to say, this is a recommendation for a committee chair. This person could be the vision committee chair, or health if you have a health committee, right? This person could be the next year, I think this person could be the chairperson for that committee. So you're building future leaders. Now, service reporting, spoke already about the impact. We have been talking about the impact of projects. It's important for you to know. There is a guide, the ebook. When you look in the Service Chairperson ebook, it will also have the links that are there to take you into your various projects, and it will also give you the various requirement for service reporting. So when you are looking at your service reporting, you need to look at impact, how to measure impact. It doesn't matter what is it that you're doing as an activity, there is a way for you to report on it. For example, if you're doing a beach cleanup, right, then it will give you, there are instructions and guidance given for you as to how many persons serve, how do you capture donation, how do you capture the hours that persons are reporting. You report on manpower when you're doing your reporting. So those are some of the things that will come out when you are looking at going ahead to do your reporting, right? Measure impact. Tell your club story. I did a sat in a training presentation that was done by the current multiple district Leo Chair Lion Avaloy, and she did a session last year or the year before that spoke about telling your story, your club story. Present your club story in such a way that when the persons at the next level reads it, they say, wow, this is what this club is doing. They are so engaged. They are so impressed, right? So tell your club story. Nobody can tell your club story better than you. Tell your club story. Now, there are different approaches to how the reports are done. In some club, the club secretary is the one that will go ahead and do the reporting in collaboration with the service chair. In some clubs, it is a service chair that will do the reporting. It doesn't matter, whichever way works best for you, make it work. Just ensure that you are reporting on the work that your club is doing, you are measuring the impact, and you're telling the story of your club. You ought to be completing your reporting on the Lions Club International website. There's a portal there that you will go in and you will make your report. It will take you through the various areas, whether if it's a service report or if it's a different type of activity, and it will also take you, excuse me, it will take you through the different options that you need to be inputting there. And that is why I say to you, tell your club story. Because when you do that, you will find the information that is taken up by the other levels as they look at your club. Not only is it used to inspire others, especially if you put it on blast on social media, but it also helps your club to qualify for recognition and award. There is the Kindness Matter Awards and other awards that clubs become eligible for because of the type of service and projects that they do. Are you familiar with any of those awards?
Yes, I am. The Club Excellence Award.
Yes. Excellent. Yes. All right. Thank you very much for that. I was wondering if I was by myself just now. Okay. Here we go. What should be reported? These are what should be reported. You will report your service projects. You report fundraisers. You report donations, meeting, and community engagement. Those are the things that must be reported. Service projects, what are the areas that they come on the fundraiser? What is it that you did? How much money you raised? And all of that donation. Again, all of this comes under good governance. Where did you get the money from? Right? And it's all going to be tied into how was the money used, because as you know, our clubs need to be audited annually, right? And then community engagement activities. Everything that you do a survey, you collaborate, you go to you are invited. For recently we were invited, my club, the Leon U committee was invited to the graduation of a basic school that we work with. So those are different activities that we'll participate in, and you would go ahead and do your reporting, right? And Denise, how we're doing it with time? I know we're trying to make up. So I'm trying to.
I'm suggesting that if we have time for questions, we wrap up soon. For our friends in the EC, it's about the end of the it's getting close to 8:30, and for our
Okay.
friends in the West, it's 7:30. So I
Okay.
think so I'm suggesting because of our challenges at the start, we did start late, and I'm suggesting that we have 15 more minutes to hear from you as well as to facilitate questions. Of course,
Okay.
if the participants wish to push beyond that, no problem. Lion Valerie, if that's a question for the the presenter, can we just allow her to finish first and then we open the floor? Lion Valerie,
Yes, good evening. Good
yes.
evening. Thank you for the presentation so far.
No, it's not finished yet. Is it a
I know,
question
I
you have?
know.
Oh, okay. Please go ahead.
Yes. So I know the service chair in our club.
Okay,
Um,
Lion Valerie, can I ask you to hold your question to the very end of the presentation, and then we will have you first up once she's finished. Okay? So Lion, Nevina, they're chomping at the bits to ask some questions. So wrap up as
Okay.
yes, Tal. Mhm.
All right. I will. All right. I will. Hopefully I don't go too fast. If I'm going too fast, I'm trying to speed up. If I go too fast, let me know. Okay. So on your screen, you are seeing some of the global causes that will help you to guide your service projects. Now you have childhood cancer, diabetes, disaster relief, environment, humanitarian, hunger, vision, and youth. If you are new to the service role and you're just getting started, don't despair. There are templates on the Lions Club International website that will help you put together your projects. For example, there are tree planting templates. There are hunger projects templates that are on. And of course, there are definitely vision templates that will help you to go ahead and plan your projects. So there's a wealth of information on the LCI website. I wanted to take you there. Hopefully I do have time. I can take you there to just give you a quick view of what is it that is on the website for you. So these are some of the areas that you will look into planning and preparing your projects and give guidance to your club as they are doing the various projects, right?
Can we go to the website now and then and then close and allow some questions because we literally have 10 minutes.
Sure.
So we're going to crave their indulgence to go beyond that. But I think if you
Okay,
could
so
go to
this
the
is
website, yes.
sure. Let me go to this link and you tell me,
It's up.
are you seeing the link?
Yeah, yes, Lionel. It's up. We can see it.
Okay. So this is the service journey. First of all, it will take you here and you will go through. Now, these are the areas that we spoke about just now. And if you go to all of them, it will take you to the different, tell you more about the different areas. Now, in service, it's about, as it's being said here, these are the pillars that you are going to do the service journey. You discover, you act, you celebrate, which is report your service, and so on. There are training activities, service reporting, as I mentioned before. This is the areas that are covered. And again, as you click on them, it will take you to the different things. Now, we mentioned some of the awards that you can gain. You can gain the Kindness Matters Service Award. You can do the Club Excellence Service Award. And here is a flyer that gives you some information about why report your service, right? It speaks to the different aspect of it. So this is also a tool for you to go and view. Okay. Now, how and when do you to report your service? So you recommend reporting your service in the Lions portal as soon as possible. However, there is a timeline that is given that the reports should be done by the 10th of the upcoming month. So you want to ensure that you report your service activities in the portal, right? Who can report the service? I mentioned before, it's really about your club. However, it is the service chairperson has the responsibility to report on the service activities, right? However, again, clubs might choose their secretary or their president to do the report. But I know that this was changed about 2 years ago to say that service chairpersons can go ahead and do the reports because it seems as if the secretaries were also inundated with what is it that they have to do and also the reports. So again, your club decide how you want to do it, but make sure that the reports are done. Reports are done and the reports are uploaded before the 10th or the last dead day, the 10th of the month. But you don't want to wait until the 10th because Murphy Law. Because, for example, this evening, we were early, we were ready to go, and then Murphy Law happened. We had a delay, and now we have to be speeding up how I'm talking, right? How to measure your service projects. This here will give you a guide on how to measure your service projects. You can click this link here and the link will then will give you some guidance, right? It will take you into defining what the service means, explaining various ways in which you measure impact. So what is service? And it tells you it is the hands-on activity. So it's not going to be a meeting that you participate in. No, that's not service activity. Those are administrative activity. They must be recorded in the Lion portal, yes, but your focus as a service chairperson for your club and responsible for the service committees in your club is going to be your service activities, those hand-on tangible things, the vision screening, the back to school, that comes under the youth umbrella, the hunger projects, right? Excuse me. You also want to speak about advocacy, also about donations. Mentioned already that these must be reported on and they are also tracked, right? So if you are doing fundraising and these are fundraising for service, again, you want to have these updated and they want to be a part of your report. Okay. So what is not reported as any service, many lives and layers serve their community individually outside of activities planned by their club. Some examples such as bringing meals to your neighbor, or driving a parent to medical appointment, or volunteering at a school. These are impactful work and important work, but they will not be part of the service for the club, so you would not report those. Now, give you the guidance on the service metrics. How do you measure what is it, the impact that you are having as a club? These are what you're going to consider. So I'm going to ask you, I will put all of these, if I don't have them already on my slides, I'll make sure that all of these are linked on the slides that you can go in, and these are what you're going to be using to guide your reports. So the number of activities that happen, the number of people served, you need to put those in a report, all your reports, number of volunteers, whether these were Lions or non-Lions that participated, the number of volunteer hours that were spent. Again, it is really about man-hour. So for example, if 5 Lions worked for 5 hours on a service activity, then you report 25 hours, right?
Nvidia,
We're done.
I'm going to
Okay.
suggest that the dialogue will then allow you the questions maybe to go back to some of these references.
Sure.
And I'm
Okay.
sure you will share the presentation, but I think the questions are going to be so important to pull out things and to help you too. So with your permission, can we go there and then you can
Sure.
refer as necessary, yes,
Sure.
because
We'll
we
take the
are in fact
questions.
we've in fact run out of time. So I'm going to ask you, Lions and Leos, to give us a few more minutes, please, so that we can facilitate question and answer. And I'd like to invite the first questioner up was Lion Valerie. She had indicated earlier she wanted to say something. Lion Valerie, could you unmute and ask your question, please?
Okay, good night. Thanks again. Good presentation so far. I've been writing because I love to write. And this is my first time in this position. But this has opened my eyes because I thought the service chairperson was just reporting, because I've never seen any of these actions being done by the service chair. So I'm happy to know that we can go on a wider scale, and that I thought it was repetitive because I'm disaster chair and I have to report to the service chair and I send it to the secretary and I still send it to the zone chief. So I thought there was a duplication. So I think we need to standardize that everything goes through this one person, and that person will take it to the furthest place it has to go, instead of the secretary, the zone chair, etc. I don't know if everybody agree with me.
Okay.
Would you want to comment on that, Nvidia, please?
Sure. So one of the things I will say is to go back to what Lions Club International says, your club, your way. So that might work for your club, but other clubs might think that we should have the secretary upload the information. So for example, let me use the example of Lions Club International, since I know about that club. The Lions secretary will go ahead, and once the report is received from the committee chairs, the secretary will input the information on the Lions Club portal.
Bless you.
Thank you so much. Sorry. Yes, so the secretary will go ahead and input the information on the Lions Club portal. However, the chairperson, me, will then go in after that, and I will make any adjustment or tweaks to it accordingly. Because I would have, while the secretary does know, and we will have discussion in terms of the numbers and the impact, or we're looking at impact and so on, because I have a more hands-on or intimate knowledge on this that is on your screen that LCI is asking us for, then I can then go through and make some adjustments to ensure that we are meeting the requirement, we're meeting the targets for our club, and we're also meeting the targets that is set by Lions Club International for us. So what this session is not for us to say to you that every club must do it this way or that way. What we'll say to you in every session, your club, your way. Right? So if that works for you, it will work for you, but it might not work for everybody. Don't consider the role repetitious though or redundant. And like you 2 years ago, because this would have been my second stint doing the project, doing this role. But like you, when I first took on the role, I thought that, okay, it was a pretty light role. And then I started doing my research. And when I read through the ebook and I read through everything, I said, oh my. I literally held my head and said, oh my. But what I'll say to you is start from now. As I said in my presentation, start from now in June. Don't wait until June 1st. Don't wait until your club is having their planning meeting. Start from now. There are information that you can gather. You would have been aware of what your club was doing. You would know what projects you think worked, what didn't work, and start from now. Start preparing. Do you need to do the club health assessment? That is the assessment, so you can touch base with what is happening with your club, so you can make your help with the strategic planning of your club. Okay?
Thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
Any other questions? Please raise your hand and you'll be recognized. Or comments? So it is as we would say, clear as mud. You're ready and raring to go. No other questions?
Oops. I should raise my hand. Where's the thing?
Lion Amoy, is that the
Yes. All
Yes,
right.
you're
So
on
my
the
hand is
floor.
up now.
Yes, you're on the floor. Yes, please go ahead.
Good. My problem is, well, I think this will be the third time that I'll be service chair. My problem is how to make tell the story. For example, of the activities that I would say are drudgery. Diabetic clinic every month is almost the same thing every month. How do I dress it up, you know?
Good point. Good point. Thanks for that question. So in my day job, I am an auditor, right? In some respect. And when you're writing an audit report, it's really cut and dry. What did the standards say? What did you find? Is it complying or is it not complying? So I had to then go and learn. And first of all, when I was doing reports too, I thought that, okay, that's what you need, just cut and dry. But what is going on? Yes, it's a routine project. Yes, you do it every month. But what type of activity was going on? Anything special? How do you tie into what is going on in the global space? For example, what are the diabetes numbers in your country? Which country are you from?
Jamaica.
Okay, Jamaica. So what are your diabetes numbers here in Jamaica? What are they telling you? How do you link that, link what you're doing? The persons that came to the diabetes clinic, anybody pregnant? Any teenagers? Sorry?
Please go ahead, Navin.
Okay. So those type of things you can pull out and and paint a picture, because we do know that childhood diabetes in children, it's increasing. So how do we position what we're doing in this diabetic clinic, or this diabetes intervention that we're doing every month, that will connect to the numbers. And then there's also the sustainable developmental goals. Every country are tap into that. So when I just started figuring out how to report in terms of a story format, then I was going into the SDGs. I tend to be technical, I guess, by training, so I would have linked it with SGS, Sustainable Developmental Goals. So that's some of the recommendation I would give you. Look in your population. Are you having children in a population? Are you having pregnant persons in population that's coming? How do you spin the story there, right? Because believe me, Jamaica, we do have a large population being impacted by these non-communicable disease. So you definitely can spin a story there, right? And who knows, collaborate with somebody in your club. Maybe you do have a storyteller. We don't mean that it must full of fluff, you don't have to full of fluff and go around here, some go around. No, but you position it in such a way that when the zone chair is looking at the overall reports, region chair, and it feeds up the ranks, they can see that though you're doing a routine activity every month, the impact is great. I hope that answers your question.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? Please, this is a unique opportunity for you to explore the mind of somebody who's not only telling you about, but who's been there and done that. So let's make use of the opportunity. Any other questions? We have a few minutes left. May I, while the question is coming, line of video, is this presentation going to be available?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
it will be available, and Denise.
Okay. All right. All right. Lana Moy,
Okay,
you
thanks.
are on the floor again, yes?
The ebook, it's on the website?
Yes, yes, it is.
And has it been upgraded or updated?
I think so. I'm trying to. It's still valid. I think it might be the 2025 version, but I did not see the 2026 version. So I do believe that it is still valid on the website.
Okay, thanks.
So I pulled, so everything that I give to you, the link will lead you directly to the website.
Your
Okay.
presentation will be made available, line of video, yes?
Yes, the
Will your-
presentation will be made available. Yes.
Okay. All right. We have, it's now 10 minutes to 8 in Jamaica and 10 minutes to 9 in the Eastern Caribbean. So we have precious minutes. We can give it 3 more minutes. Any other questions? Make use of this opportunity, please. Land value had another question.
Just to say to Line Bean, how season started here as well. She said in Jamaica, but it started here as well. And we have Sahara dust for the whole day. The whole country is just laden with Sahara dust at this present moment.
Yes.
But
Mm.
I
Me
like the
too.
idea of the diabetes, because it is so prevalent here in Antigua. Different age groups. I keep using myself as an example. I'm part of the Heart and Stroke Foundation here in Antigua. So we go to different schools and then we have a mini clinic. So one school we went to, we didn't have a big crowd of the teachers to do the mini clinic. So I said, a lot of people are here. Let me go and check. So I went and I checked, and the lady said, "What did you eat?" I said, "My breakfast. I didn't leave home to check anything." She said, "Your blood sugar is so high," and something really scared me because I have an uncle who is diabetic real bad. So I don't want to be in that. But I took myself to the doctor and did a full physical. When you go to the hospital doesn't do all the blood work. So you have to go to a private lab. And I said to myself, how many persons could leave from the hospital and go to the private lab where you have to pay? And when we look at the death notices, right, the different age group, and families have a tendency of thanking the doctor that worked with the patient, the deceased person, and you pick up they had diabetes, kidney failure, those kind of things, because they didn't follow up. So you could say, I went to the clinic today and they had about 50 people. And you went back the following week and you saw 45 and you inquired, I didn't see this person from the last time. And the sad news is the person passed away. So that's the story right there. We lost a few, that kind of thing.
Agreed. Agree. Thank you for sharing that. Indeed. Indeed. And it's really why a lot of these, while stroke and high blood pressure are predominantly considered silent killer, but the other non-communicable diseases definitely are also positioning themselves that way, because a lot of times we are asymptomatic. We don't know until we do our checks. So right now, the Ministry of Health here in Jamaica is doing a campaign called Know Your Numbers, where they're encouraging persons to get these checks done so that they can validate, not just because you feel good, but they can definitely validate it. So yes, I agreed with you on 100%. And again, that's just even a story, something that you can put forward in your report, or how is it that you're looking at your activities. Okay, thank you for that.
Any other questions? We have, I think, time for at least one more, or comment, shared experience, new thoughts.
All right, so if there are no other questions that come in, let me know if they come. I just want to give just the final points. As you prepare yourself for the role, your chairperson role service, chairperson role, come the 1st of July, again, you want to identify the needs. What are the needs that you are seeking to serve, seeking to impact? You want to mobilize your people. So your clubs will identify who the chairpersons are for the various committees. You need to start working with them. Get the Lions Club International Service calendar that you can look to see the different activities that are coming in, so that these chairpersons can include them in their planning activity. Create an impact. We're not just here to look pretty in our pretty yellow vest. We are here to create an impact. And you are the one that is in charge of helping your club to create that impact. I would have taken you to that web page that will talk to you about impact, or you measure impact, and what is it that you look at. I'll share all of those links, will be shared with you. Tell your story. Why should other persons join this club? Why should I give you my limited resources that I have? Why should I donate it to your club? Tell your story. The story that you tell on your club, the way that you position your club, it will attract, it will be a beacon in the light to attract like-minded persons to your club. Not only that, but it can also position you for recognition and award in your zone, your region, your district. Celebrate success. Celebrate the work that your members are doing. Celebrate the work that your donors are doing. Include them. Definitely, when you're having your celebration, do not forget your sponsors and your your donors, right? Celebrate success. It's very important so that persons will be enthused. They will feel rewarded. They will feel engaged. So go ahead then as service chairpersons to ensure that your members you have engaging time when they're doing their service, and that they can feel rewarded as they create an impact through service. Thank you very much. My apologies that we had to hasten, but the presentation and everything will be shared with you.
Thank you, Lana Vidya. Just in a few closing remarks, we are just reminded and have been reminded by this presentation that service is the heartbeat of the Lions movement. Our motto is "We serve." And Lana Vidya has clearly pointed out the huge responsibility of the service chairperson, but she's also told us heartedly that this is a shared responsibility. And that is important that the service chairperson engages other members as well as other partners in fulfilling the work that needs to be done. And therefore, the service chairperson has an important role in terms of organization, oversight, and planning. But the service chairperson does not have to do it all by themselves. It's very, very necessary to have engagement across the clubs and within our communities. And finally, not only do we have to tell the story I'm summarizing, but we also have to ensure that our community is aware and that we have the level of engagement that we need in order to tell really, really exciting and impactful stories. So Nana Vina is not only is she telling us about it, but she has walked the walk. And therefore, we have real life experience from her. And we're really grateful to her for sharing so passionately and comprehensively her experience. And I'm pretty sure that not only is she going to share her slides, but if you need to contact her directly about a specific matter, maybe you are too shy to say this evening, or maybe we were putting you under a bit of pressure in terms of time, but it doesn't end here. Lionel Vida and the team are available for you. And we're so very, very pleased that you are able to join us this evening. And as she has promised, the information from her presentation is going to be available. So I don't know if we can do a lion's roar or a balloon raising, but could we thank Lion Nevida appropriately by clapping, by roaring, whatever, however you feel moved as we bring this meeting to an end. We're really, really very, very grateful for the effort that she has made. Thank you so very much.
You're welcome. Thank you, Denise. Thank you very much, Lions and Leos.
So
Thank
I
you.
think, right, roar, roar, roar,
Roar, roar, roar.
fight.
Bite them, bite them, bite them.
Yes, yes, yes. So I think it was a very productive evening, and this is a continual learning process, you know. And you have heard it from an expert who herself will confess that she continues to learn as we seek to serve our communities. And remember, she importantly also said to serve our club members. So thank you so very much for your presentation. And we will ensure, right, thank you, Lionette. And we thank you on that Lana Video's behalf. We really appreciate your being here this evening, and we will certainly share the information. So at this point, I'd like to say that this meeting is now adjourned, and enjoy the rest of your evening.